and I felt very loved and accepted and included and appreciated to a level that I didn't expect to have. So I would say I'm on my way.
पहली बार दर्द हुआ.
अपन मतलब तू भी नहीं जीत सकता था मैं.
That is what I'm saying, bro.
यार ये तो रूड था यार.
रूड
तू
गया.
बता तू मेरे से प्रॉब्लम थी.
नहीं प्रॉब्लम
नहीं नहीं नहीं
प्रॉब्लम बिल्कुल नहीं.
अरे इधर आना तू बता दे. बहुत अच्छा
Ingi.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Mama.
Adi, just keep it drive and in 10 minutes knock it up.
Adi, how about you contribute? Because my legs are tired.
Adi is hopeless and useless.
But we do that.
I started watching this watching how big the boys have become, the girls have become. No, it is not. The 6 season is going to come and then they are going to
Mr. Beast in it.
Yeah. Adi, क्या तू दूर बैठे थे chair
अरे तेरे को उधर से उठना है क्या?
दूर बैठ तू अपने चार्जिंग पॉइंट रहेगा देखो इधर.
चार्जिंग में बहुत कुछ बोलेगा.
Go.
Okay, let's Adi try to.
want to share all her talks.
You need to know what I struggle with.
Advocacy, which means that after just being introduced to an activity and then being told, oh, you're not doing the girl version, you're doing the other one, they feel like, okay, I'm less capable of doing well.
Oh, acha, acha.
What you were doing that time?
I was recording.
That's the three of you, right? That is your mom? Mom?
Yeah. My mom,
Use it much for transportation, but like I have pictures of me like on it. ये घोड़ा गाड़ी थी पहले यूज करते थे. अभी वो बूढ़ी हो गई तो उसको नहीं चलाते हैं.
What are some interesting qualities of Indian people that you've noticed?
I don't know if I can generalize this to Indian people as a whole because a lot of people, and this might be a weird thing to point out, but I did not feel short the entire time that I was there. And I'm used to feeling short in the US and especially in Denmark. So it was really nice to just be like, oh, I'm like average height. And I don't know if that reflects just the people I was around or Indian people as a whole, but it was very nice.
Is that your full answer?
That is my full answer. It's very
when
hard
I
to
asked you
generalize about a whole group of people, Adi.
about
Very
the
hard.
interesting qualities that you found about the people that you met in India, your answer is they were short.
When you say it like that, it doesn't sound good. I can give more details if you want. There's a really big emphasis on family and having those connections. And I think there's a conversation I was having with maybe Adi's dad. He was saying, like, in the US, it's work first and then family. But in India, it's family first and then work, which is something that I've never like explicitly thought about, but it's definitely like I think I tend to prioritize work over family, but it was nice to be in a situation where there was so much togetherness and connection, and that was like the primary priority.
See, that's what the hell is that? Why?
There was a lot of attention and concern to just like, is Ingrid having a good time? Is Ingrid okay? Is Ingrid happy? And to me, that comes from a place of love and wanting to make sure that like I am okay, and being cared about in that way made me feel like I was important, and like people wanted me there too. Like I wasn't just an imposition of someone who was saying, "Oh, I want to travel to India and like, can you host me?" And then it's like I mean, okay. Like it felt like people wanted me there.
And you play card games?
A little. I haven't done it in a while, but
And you play with money?
If I put 10 rupees, you'll put $10, right?
I think like the moment where it really hit me was, I think it might have been a week into being in India, maybe not even a week. But when your grandmother came into my room and we had like a very nice conversation where she was saying really nice things about how she loves me and how I'm like integrating well into the family. And that was just a very sweet moment. Like obviously I couldn't express everything in Hindi and she couldn't express everything in English. So we were both working with a similar level of a language barrier. So I felt like we understood each other's struggle of like wanting to convey something, but not necessarily being able to. But I think the general feeling was communicated very well. And that made me just feel very safe and loved.
Can you tell me what you think is the best thing about Amma?
She seemed to have just like unlimited energy and was very impressive in how much she does. Like seeing her and getting a tour of the costume shop and knowing that she was the one who built this up and now it's like a big operation, and seeing her sewing the costumes and knowing everything about all these different things was really impressive. And then like walking through the house and seeing that she's like peeling and cleaning like various produce and vegetation things like peas and chana and different herbs, to then also like when we were trekking in Pavankind and she was at the front of the group like marching ahead, having no issues whatsoever. Like it was very impressive. And that's, I mean, when I'm older, I would like to have that same amount of energy and just like retaining that youthfulness that I saw in her. That was really cool. I think the sweetest thing was when Anna invited me to Anshul's wedding, just because that felt like she genuinely liked me to the point of wanting me to be part of a big moment for the family and wanting me to have that experience because, you know, I was enjoying the experiences I was having so far, and she could tell that, and she knew that I would really like to have more experiences and experience more of India and Indian culture. And the fact that she invited me, but then like kept mentioning it to me, kept reminding me that like you are invited. Like that made it feel like it was genuine and not just like a surface level thing of, oh yeah, you're invited, but like I was actually wanted there. That was very sweet.
What do you think is the best thing about Papa?
He is a very warm and friendly and inviting person. And I mean, obviously, I was meeting him in a circumstance where they already kind of knew who I was, and I knew a little bit about your family. But I can imagine if I was just like in a crowd and I met him as a stranger, he would be someone that would stand out to me as someone who just makes people feel welcome and included. And it just felt like he was a safe like person to tether to in different situations.
You know, even after you left, my dad still on the dinner table goes on lengthy monologue about just how peaceful you are and contained you are as a person, and how you have like been the most fearless and not anxious person that he has known ever. He said that he would just be so contained and calm and okay with foreignness, just sitting on the dining table there, enjoying with complete strangers 7,000 miles away from home. That to him was very impressive. And he said that if he was ever in an environment that's foreign, with trusting a single individual and knowing no one else, being so far away from home, he would be a lot more on the edge, and you were just so relaxed and trusting, which really got to him.
It's really sweet.
What's the best thing about Mama?
She was so knowledgeable. Like it was really impressive that when we'd be walking on the streets and passing by certain plants, she would just point at things and be like, oh, like I know what that is and how it's used. And like I very rarely meet people with that level of just casual knowledge. That it's really impressive when I see that in real life. And I'm like, how can you remember all this stuff? And how do you just know all of this? And it comes out so quickly and it just seems like effortless. So it was really impressive.
What's the best thing about Govind Chacha?
He was someone who was very good at making light moments, like very funny and playful, and especially like teaching me insults in Hindi so I can be mean to you. Like things like that are just very joyful and fun and brought a certain lightness to whenever we were in situations together.
It's also because my grandma lives in Florida during the winter, so it's like half the time she's not there. So it's
Is it there when your father grew up?
What do you think?
yeah, he grew up in the same
अभी
town.
interview
Where,
ले
like,
रहे
they're all
तेरे को
still
ऐसा लग रहा
living.
है
So he was the one who moved away.
अच्छा तो समझने आदि समझने लायक भी नहीं है। हाँ बोली ये लोग बहुत शोर कर रहे हैं नॉइस
They're creating a lot of noise. Yeah.
आदि अभी पूछ इसको शो करते हैं क्या हम?
Inge, be honest.
कहाँ से लाई है?
I don't like it.
Hey, those are the
No, are we a loud family?
उसने बनाया क्या?
वो मंगवाए ना उससे
Yeah, yes.
And what's the best thing about Richa?
She was super fun, and I feel like we would have been friends if we were like in the same high school or same college. Like we vibed a lot, both in just like casual things like playing Monopoly Deal, but then also having deeper conversations about like parenting practices and mental health and things like that are the type of things that I would talk about with my friends back in New York. So like obviously she was someone that I just met, but it felt like she was a bit of home when I was near her.
Is Richa, like, how do you plan on keeping in touch with Richa? If any?
I mean, we have each other's numbers on WhatsApp, and maybe I can force you to be more like connected, so that way we can all three be connected too, as like, you know, your little liaison. Yeah.
I mean, you should fully like follow her on Instagram and like reply to her stories and text her on whatever you think of her. You know, it should happen.
I should find her Instagram. Yeah.
What's the best thing about Avi?
You're just sitting there like, I want to be complimented. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of things that I like about Adi. There's a lot of best things. But in the context of this trip, the best thing was how attentive he was and how much he wanted to make sure that I was having a fun time. And a lot of the times, like, he was my main point of connection between like new people that we were meeting or being in new situations and seeing new things and having them explained to me. So it just felt like he was my own little personal like tour guide person to protect me type of thing.
She said I liked you a lot. लड़की समझदार है, होशियार है. Okay, hugs. All right. So you're not gonna see Govan Chacha again either? Oh, he's unwell. Yeah. The wedding?
Living somewhere for 14 days is a long amount of time, and I don't usually go on trips that are that long. So I got comfortable and settled, and I started having routines and feeling like there was a pattern to life. And then all of a sudden it was time for me to leave, and I wasn't fully prepared for that emotionally. So like the whole goodbyes and all of that, I was fighting back and trying not to think about what leaving means.
Mangi.
Especially when it's a place that's not easy to come back to and requires a lot of planning and a lot of travel to come back to. And I did feel like very cared for and appreciated there. So leaving that environment was sad. I think part of feeling like I have a real family also hinges on being accepted into the family, and I felt accepted. I don't know if it's presumptuous to say that I feel like I have a real family, but I feel like if there were some circumstances that made me end up in India for a certain amount of time that weren't related to visiting your family or going with you, I would definitely feel like I could come over and hang out or stay for a couple of days. Like I would feel like I would have a home base there. And I felt very loved and accepted and included and appreciated to a level that I didn't expect to have. So I would say I'm on my way, feeling like I have a family in India.